Hey everyone, welcome to the Industry Show. I'm your host Nitin Bajaj, and joining me today on the Get Funded series is Ravi Kapoor and Venk Potula. Welcome, guys.
Hi, thanks for having us on.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Great to have you here. So, tell us, what is Four Samosas?
Four Samosas is a feature film. It's a comedy heist movie, and it is set in Artesia, which is Los Angeles County's Little India. And it basically tells the story of Vinny, who is a unmotivated Indian American rapper. And Vinny discovers that his ex-girlfriend, who he is still in love with, is now engaged to another man. And so Vinny decides that he's going to organize a heist on her father's grocery store because her father is keeping some diamonds there to pay for her wedding. And he believes that if he steals the diamonds, it will scupper the engagement. And so Vinny gets together with three other incompetent thieves, and that becomes the Four Samosas. And together they attempt this heist. And it's kind of like a Three Idiots meets Napoleon Dynamite, which is a quirky heist or a quirky American comedy.
It's hilarious. I love it. So, let me go all business on you, okay, and drop this. What is your competitive advantage?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think I'd say our main competitive advantage is that we have a lot of industry experience on our team. If you don't know, Ravi over here is a director, and he co-wrote the feature film Miss India America, which was licensed to Netflix worldwide and is still available to rent on all platforms. And also, in exciting news, will be seen on Hulu later this year. And really, the rest of our team just has a huge amount of experience. Our director of photography recently shot a multi-million-dollar project. Skyfire, our editor, was recently nominated for a top editing award for his work on the FX Hulu show What We Do in the Shadows. Our music supervisor did the soundtrack for American Desi, which some of you might know. And he also runs Ruckus Avenue, which is the #1 listened to South Asian radio station in the world. And we're continuing to grow that team.
Sounds like you're getting all the guns blazing on this one. Tell us how much you guys are raising, what the raise is for, the big buckets, if you will.
Sure. So the total budget for the film is $300,000. And so it's a lower budget production. It's not a Marvel movie. We are 150,000 already into the raise. So we're just looking for the second half of that. And the biggest buckets, I would say, are for paying cast and crew, because we're going to have some talented cast and crew and we need to pay them. Then we also have some COVID protocols that we have to deal with when we're shooting the film to make sure that nobody gets sick. And then post-production is probably the third biggest bucket. And that's going to include the editing, the sound mix. It's going to include the coloring and the creation of a soundtrack as well, which Sammy Chand, who is our music supervisor, will be putting together. And that will become a great tool for when we actually sell the film itself as well.
I would imagine, first off, kudos to you for having such a tight budget and including these restrictions that have been put on us in the past year or so. I would imagine this is a pretty competitive field, right? If you can help us understand the competitive landscape and also some of the projections going in.
Yeah, absolutely. So we first off want to say that film investment is always a high risk investment. And we want to be upfront about that. But in terms of the competitive landscape, we're actually kind of in a golden age, if you would, right now. And that's because we're seeing lots of new buyers entering the marketplace. So you've got Apple TV has recently started their own streaming platform, Paramount Plus, Peacock, Freeform, Disney Plus, in addition to the Netflix and Hulu's and Amazon Primes that we all know and love. And even South Asian streamers like Disney Plus, Hotstar are in the marketplace. So what we're seeing is it's really a seller's market right now, and they are specifically looking for content, diverse content specifically, and they need that to satisfy their subscribers. That's really the landscape. And in terms of the projections that we've sort of calculated based on our budget and making a sale, our projected ROI is 2 to 5x, and that can take anywhere from 1 to 3 years on average to see back from the point of investing to see a return in profit.
Thanks, Venk. So building up on that, what's the broad project timeline? And also, to understand a little bit of the distribution strategy.
Right. So we would love to close funding by May 24th. That's the date that we've set ourselves so that we can greenlight the project, which will allow us to go into pre-production in June and July, because we want to shoot the film in August. It's going to be a 19-day shoot. Then we'll go into post-production, which is the editing and the other things that I spoke about earlier, which will take place in September, October, November. And so hopefully by the end of December, early January, we will have a cut of the film that is a really strong cut that we can then start taking out to film festivals. And these film festivals will be our shop window for the film. That's where we hope to make a sale with the film. And talking of which, I should bring up a company called Marginal Mediaworks, which is a co-producer with us on this project. And they are backed by Imagine Entertainment, which is Ron Howard's and Brian Grazer's company. And so together with this company, who have an incredible Rolodex of people involved in film festivals and sales agents and distributors, we feel like we've got a great team to help us make this sale at these film festivals and, in fact, get us into the film festivals, which can often be the hardest thing to do.
Makes sense. And, bringing all of this together, if you can help us understand from an investor's perspective, why would an investor be interested in investing in this project?
Yeah. Well, first off, from a financial point of view, we want to be able to offer our investors a 20% bonus on the first tier of the waterfall. So what that means is before anyone sees any money, you, the investor, get paid back in full first, plus 20% before anyone else sees anything. And really more than that as well, you get to really learn what it is to make a movie. And it's a lot of fun, like how it's all put together. So we want to bring you guys into that process. And we plan to create a exclusive WhatsApp group that all of our investors can become a part of, where we can share kind of the behind the scenes videos, the photos, provide that insider's look at location scouting, any casting updates, the press releases that go out in the trade magazines, any updates in terms of shooting or post-production. Really want to keep you guys involved. And there's opportunities to have exclusive Zoom meetings with part of the cast, part of the crew. There'll be invitations to celebrate the film. Once we're into these film festivals, to become a part of celebrating that and go to the after parties, which is a lot of fun. We can even offer private screenings for you in the comfort of your own home with key cast and crew. We can present that movie. You can even be as involved as being a background extra within the film and really be on set and take place in the magic of making a movie. And finally, we do offer industry standard credit producing opportunities depending on the investment amount.
And that sounds like a long party, right?
Why would it really is. It's a lot of fun, and we really like to bring people involved in that process.
I love that. So, bringing this to why make this film and why now?
Venk and I are both committed to telling South Asian diasporatic stories. We believe that if we don't tell the stories, then somebody else will tell those stories. And they may not be positioned to tell those stories as authentically as somebody like Venk and I can tell those stories. Because we don't want general Hollywood to make stories about us, because they tend to get them wrong if we don't tell them, and if we're not in control of those narratives. And also, we just think that now is an incredible time where people are much more aware of who we are as South Asians in America. You've got your Priyanka Chopras, you've got your Mindy Kalings, we got a vice president who is part South Asian as well. And so we feel like this is the time to really capitalize on that. And we feel like the audience is hungry for it. And the industry as well is recognizing that there's money to be made from telling diverse stories as well. And also with COVID, I think we all want to have a laugh, and we want to make a comedy. We want to make people smile and fall down dead laughing.
Well, thank you, Ravi and Venk. I'm really looking forward to this movie when it comes out, and really hoping investors come in for the fun, but also to support ourselves as a community. So good luck and thank you.
Absolutely. And again, thank you so much for having us on.
Thanks for having us.
Pleasure is all ours. Thanks.
All right.